Why can't we not be sober? I'm just a worthless liar. I'm just an imbecile. I've maybe drank a little too much, and while at it, got a very unlucky stray bullet. So now I'm fucked and can't drink for some time. It's been a month now, and from time to time I get all these questions like, so, how's it going? How are you feeling? And I stop and pause and think about my response. I stare blankly for a short while, find out that I don't fucking know off the top of my head. I really don't know from the first front line of my consciousness how it makes me feel. There's a mess on the table. I really have to go and think and put pieces together, pull a logical implication to figure out how do I even feel like. After a second, I figure I should say at least something, not to completely halt the flow of the chat, cause yeah, and so I usually go and instinctively say something along the lines like, yeah, it's alright, I guess, because it is alright, I guess. You know, I had these alcoholic problems allegations at the times of my shenanigans speak, and I mean, I get it why I received such allegations, but I went for a month straight now without any difficult withdrawals and challenges, so fuck those allegations too. I feel alright. But I may be taking it too much for granted, this alright feeling. And with this, I wanted to share parts of my mental implication process that runs after such questions. First of all, that comes automatically to my mind is that I keep forgetting how it so much fucking sucks going around with a hangover, bad hangovers in general. And God, I had those. It's a flushed weekend. Sundays you spend lying and rotting. Even worse hangovers are those suffered on work days during the week. And I keep forgetting how it fucking sucks having a black void in your mind. Sometimes being unable to think straight, even while off the booze. Like how it retards you. I'm afraid of mental decline, and not as much as the next guy, but so much more than any next guy. I easily get scared when going into thinking about it too much and attempting any comparisons with, I don't know, high school me, for example. But if I remember correctly, back then I also used to compare myself to the middle school me, and even then I suspected that I was somehow growing stupid, like rolling down the hill. Today, I generally believe I used to be smarter, maybe in some way, and I either did some bad move while in development with substances, or maybe it was just a normal development process, I don't know. Or maybe I have just fell off and never really got back to it. Or I was not really smart in the first place and I made the struggle up. So yeah, anyway, the first point I consider positive is that leaving out toxins, any toxins, out of your body and brain, I guess that's a good thing and a nice reality to not have in me. The next mental implication is that maybe I have a more stable mood, like defensive, gray, neutral mood. Sometimes I feel happy and sometimes sad, but like in normal amounts. And I'm trying to live and digest through those emotions. I guess I kept running away from them for the majority of my life. And it didn't bring me to any good places at that time, but it brought me to the realization, which led me to the current me though, so yay, I guess. So yeah, the emotions are more settled, not like set in stone settled, like I often feel, little peaks here and there, a rush of anticipation here and there, I'd say, a rush of maybe angry, maybe sad, this or that. I'm afraid I can't say and compare with certainty whether I felt more or less like that before, because feelings are tightly related to the things currently happening at the moment. So every situation and point in time is unique and hard to compare. The only true and fair comparison would be to get to feel the same situation in these two separate conditions, under these two separate conditions, sober for a month, and drunk periodically in high frequency. Academically compare these two situations and evaluate. So yeah, and on top of that, who knows how would it feel being years sober? This shit's new to me, so I definitely know how it feels to spend basically a year being drunk. I mean, I maybe miss sometimes, or I think about it whether I really miss it or not, those heightened emotions. But since if you don't feel them, you can't miss them, right? Because remembering and missing emotions is kind of hard. It has to really be a big business to like really feel that you miss a certain emotion. And you can still feel them nonetheless, with or without drinking. It's just more, it's maybe less frequent or maybe not as severe. But hey, since I have spent a lot of time in the influence folk, I maybe did not ever get to experience the normal mood for extended time periods properly and fully. I'm afraid most of my important life events happened while I was drunk. Doesn't matter if only slightly or very much. Either way, there goes this unfortunate reinforcement of those neural bridges connections. So trying to unreinforce those is 100% for a better change, I'd say. And after considering my mental agility, I take another step in my feelings, thought chaining towards the fact that I may be a little more active, proactive. And again, if not reminding myself, it's easy to forget and ignore how much more lazier I had been and unable to do shit before quitting the bottle. Like, drink 3 beers after work, dissolve into a couch, idly while watching some obnoxious motherfucker on YouTube, and if not 3, then 10 beers, smoke 1,000 cigarettes, feel funny, found out your dick is in the geriatric mode instead of a sports mode you thought it was, get mad, write something stupid and angry, drink more beers, think stupid and or satisfied shit about life, and pass out again on that couch. In both scenarios, there goes the evening and optionally the day after that. And this sucks major ass. And that would be alright. Hadn't it be that there also goes your young energy with so much creation potential. I used the incorrect word on purpose there, as I don't mean a do-it-yourself, handy, quirky, creative shit. I mean a literal creation force of producing something. Young sprout with all of its insane force potential to go and grow off from that smallest seed. It's unbelievable how much energy it stores and is able to generate. And we as a part of nature are the same. We possess and store similar energy and we use it for everything. And not only for our own like physical growth, but also all of our inner world, inner growth, like psychological growth. That is growing our personalities or our thoughts or simply anything that produces some external product using that. Our thoughts, actions, art, if you will. We use a portion for reproduction too, and this does not consist only of the sex as an activity per se, but it encompasses all the mating and ritual activities around it. Simply, the energy we have is finite, and we output it for everything we procreate, whether it is materialistic or not. And so I felt my problem kept stealing all of that, probably just flushing it down the shitter or whatever it did with it out back behind the barn. But let me tell you, letting that fly, that's a fucking sin. There is so much of a fucking sin, regardless what you believe or not believe in. The concept of sin works for atheists too. It's a shame, an insult, a disregard, a dirty fucking contempt. It's everything anti-life, anti-humanistic, it's fucking heretic. You're literally discarding the most intricate and magical thing, the system of life and time. You're disrespecting and completely shitting on the whole super complex system that, mind you, did pull itself together sporadically, just through the physics and mathematics of the universe. The insanely large, complex mathematical system. It's etheric. It's a feeling of awe with a breath kicked out of you. Every second you have is sacred. All the myriads of probabilities, chances, and most seemingly unrelated decisions and events that made the whole of the time-space fabric led to this moment. And this holy reality, this holy experience, we are choosing to be here in this body holding me, and you decide to spit on that. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid to not realize you will never be this version. Well, you, literally you, ever again. Time is very scary and sacred. So my point is, drinking absolutely makes you skip and miss out on this. Life's magical and beautiful, and I'd hate to miss out on it. So when you start to realize the importance and scarcity of the time and energy and think, okay, clear, understood, I got some bad seat rep for you. This substance abuse thing has this terroristic tendencies. It loves to do shit in all different forms and ways. It's like a serpent, like a virus, unpredictable, and it sometimes may feel like life in its way, how it's changing its ways and just trying to survive while managing the maximum damage to its host. It loves defying the definitions box. So if it does not steal the energy, it goes into the building and makes a fucking terrible mess in the energy distribution center. As it usually goes, all substance abuse leads to even more substance abuse. I often had, for example, my libido completely fucked. Like I couldn't feel anything else than a need for another drink and a fucking nice girl. And then suddenly not. And then out of nowhere, yes. It just completely bumped my ability to be anyhow consistent with anything, really. Because if not girls, then any other activity, like maybe drawing, writing, simply creating something, it could be anything. It also depends on the personality. Because hormones too are just a substance. It doesn't matter if you get them from partners, creative processes, sports maybe. The terrorism of the thing is that it makes the energy come in unpredictable, uneven waves, but the bursts last very short, and often what happens is the moment it runs out, you find yourself in the middle of the activity and realize, I can't finish. And you're left dead, unable to finish whatever you have in front of you. And so you rinse and repeat because you can't stop now, right? And God have mercy that the next energy tide won't pull you out to some other activity, because then you have more unfinished work than anything actually finished. And you can't finish none of it because the state of mind is gone. And so this way you fall deeper and deeper into this ocean trench. The pressure is rising, oxygen running out, and adrenaline is going ballistic. And yeah, that's another point, adrenaline. This is the point where I float to the side of negative effects that I perceive. Although I mentioned I feel more active, that does not mean I necessarily don't feel bored. I feel significantly more bored at functions, especially. They all tell you, oh, you can have fun without it. Yeah, I mean, you can. It's not like the end of the world and not exactly a suffering, but I don't know. The drinking thing is such an incredible fun for me. I perceive it somehow as a thing of a sport, in fact. The adrenaline. Shit starts to happen when there's drinking. And at extreme measures, it is pushing yourself all the time. It's throwing yourself into a river and letting you yourself fight to stay afloat. It's a war state. Brother, I was made for struggle. I love the feeling of a soldier on a front line. Maybe any soldier, in fact. It's a feeling of a cause and a sharpness of it. The feeling of angels above your head, the silence before the hell opens, before everything happens. I need to feel the rush of something larger, something bigger than you, being part of something larger, or at least having a false feeling of it. I fancy the weightness of being a unit, and it maybe can be taken in two ways. Like, you can be a unit as in like drinking or handling drinking 15 beers a day, because it really takes something to pull off that, or being a unit that is able to run like a full marathon. It's some kind of performance in both ways, but one is really degenerate and the other one is like really based, you know. But yeah, to make a few things clear about this war thing, I have to admit I was at some point in time the guy who really meant the "man used to die in war" seriously. But now, and especially after Ukraine war broke out, I got a little reality check slapped that dying is a really finite thing, and I don't want it neither for me or really anyone else. I don't want to do it to anyone else. Like a rot dead in a fucking cold mud, living behind family, friends, loves, back home. And since then I started using the "man used to die in war" more loosey-goosey and not mean it too literally. Although something about it still stands somehow. Maybe some discipline and being worth something. I don't believe I have ever been any of it ever. Maybe I'm lacking a serious purpose, and so I'm facilitating an artificial one. Maybe I want to belong and I want to have a purpose. Maybe that's why I'm trying to push out more of some creative works these days, such texts as this included, or a design I picked up again. Well, who knows what it is? I'm working on it. Maybe it will get somehow better in the future. I feel like I went a little contradictory with some points, like you are flushing the conscious time, but at the same time it feels nice and sharp and full of adrenaline. To make it clear, I mean, it's kind of both worlds. Sometimes it's this, other times it's that, maybe sometimes it's a mix. It flows here and there. Sometimes you are drinking to drink away the time and unpleasant things. Sometimes you drink to enhance the already nice day. Or drink to make it one of those two. It's a little gamble, you know? So at the end of the thought chain, although the positives, I don't think the flood and complete shutdown and curfew of drinking is completely worth it. But I do definitely stand behind the fact that a significant reduction to drinking is actually a proper price. This does not apply to you or anyone if they have a serious alcoholic problem. At that moment, a complete stop is necessary, and you can't go you can't half guess it, you know. And for me, this is a definitely good thing to this full stop, because it slowed me down, and I believe it's a good thing that I have to go through. Drinking has never solved anything finitely, and I guess I needed this bench sitting. I believe everything is as it is supposed to be, and that all of this is all for a better. But this realization comes like half an hour late after the question was asked, and the one who asked is probably already miles away. So all I'm left with is a little more sorted mental table.